Sam Dodgin from FinancialSamurai.com is one of the pioneers of the Financial Independence Retire Early movement, or FIRE. Sam recently wrote in his blog that FIRE is now becoming obsolete in 2023. Now, if the guru is leaving us behind, what are we going to do with our financial independence? Let's find out. It turns out that my respected guru, Financial Samurai, is not claiming that the FIRE movement is dead. What he's saying is that working full-time and living in 2023 is not such a bad idea. The first point is working from home actually gives us more freedom. The freedom to wake up a little later than usual so that we avoid traffic time to and from office. The freedom to roam around the house, interact with family members, be with your kids, be with your wife or loved ones all day long. The freedom to make occasional short trips to your favorite local coffee store and pick up a cup of coffee. This means generally you have a higher level of satisfaction because of the greater flexibility everyone enjoys by working from home. Sam also observed a general decline of male ego in the general society. People have slowly but surely started to accept the idea of stay-at-home dads, and they are more inclusive towards a person that, to the untrained eye, are long-term unemployed. There are also multiple income stream opportunities available online. Apart from YouTubing, there's blogging, there's podcasting. You can also be an Uber driver or deliver food for DoorDash. There are various other jobs you can also pick up on Fiverr or Airtasker if you're Australian. All of that means if you don't see a person in suits and ties at 7 a.m. every morning, you can't really assume that he doesn't earn any income for his family. Working from home means we have greater control of our time, reduced male ego and greater social acceptance allows us to have a better social relationship, and also multiple streams of income opportunities means we can generate additional income if we want to. All of this makes Sam think that probably keeping the current lifestyle working full-time is not such a bad idea in 2023. Let me help you understand this better by bringing you back to the 3 core ideas of FIRE movement. Idea number 1 is that people realize selling our time for money is not healthy. Therefore, FIRE movement encourages us to find a way to buy back our precious time. Taking this idea one step further, people start to think whether it's acceptable to accept a lower pay but have a higher quality of life and more freedom. And finally, to fully buy back our time from our employers, we need to find a way to make a passive stream of income so that we can maintain an acceptable standards of living. And this is how FIRE started, to help people finding that passive stream of income over a relatively short period of time so that we can retire in the 30s, 40s instead of 60 or 70s. Now here's the interesting part. Let's look at how these 3 pillars changed in 2023. Firstly, working remotely. It means we can still sell our time, but the time we spend is at our own desk at home. This blurs the boundary of a full-time job and a part-time job, or a full-time job and a side hustle. With the improvement of quality of life, it means the full-time workers no longer have to make a hard decision to just quit the job for good. And in terms of fully buy back our time, it means now we have more flexibility, we have more opportunity and freedom to build up an asset that creates the passive income. The asset may be a rental property, a share portfolio that pays dividends, or a business we can run from home. So on the face value, it does seem that FIRE is obsolete, or at least can be delayed to a much older age. The argument here is we don't have to decide to quit our job right away or as urgently. But does that make FIRE easier? Now what I think is the total opposite. It's actually making FIRE much harder. Let me tell you why. Firstly, I suspect the salary level for white-collar workers will start to rise much slower than blue-collar workers who cannot work from home. There's already proof of that. During the inflation, the salary for blue-collar workers has increased on average 2 or 3% higher than white-collar workers in 2023. At least this is the case in Australia. However, there is a delay effect in the salary adjustment after this transition. Companies have yet to come up with an adequate salary structure that reflects the increased freedom it now provides to white-collar workers. On the other hand, the nurses, firefighters, policemen, retail sector workers now find it a little unfair that they have to continue to go to work and accept a lower pay comparing to those white-collar workers who are comfortably working from home in their pajamas. Salary will have to adjust for those differences, otherwise labor will start to leave blue-collar industry and move on elsewhere. The second point is the worrying trend that ChatGPT, AI, remote working technology. These technology are rapidly replacing service sector workers. I am astonished by how well ChatGPT can write an article, and it can come up with a half-decent board report or committee report if I specify the question correctly. I think over time, and I mean very short period of time, there's going to be changes to white-collar workers. There's much less need for humans to create an article, to provide a service, or to do admin work. So remote working is probably a short-term phenomenon and a curse disguised in blessing. When we think of the passive income stream that buys back our time, normally a rule people talk about is the 4% rule. That means with every $100 you invest into an asset, you can expect to generate about $4 of return as a constant stream of income on an annual basis. This also has to change because with the high inflation, our living expense has increased much more rapidly than the ability of the asset to generate returns. So let's say your $1 million asset generates $40,000 every year, which is sufficient for you to sustain a lifestyle. With the inflation of 10%, you'll suddenly need to find an extra $4,000 somewhere else. This means it takes us longer to accumulate enough assets to generate the same level of passive income that's going to help us sustain the lifestyle. And the result is everyone in the FIRE movement will have to quit their job a lot later. My last worrying thought is that the economic and political environment is getting worse not on a short term but on a long-term horizon. Look at the Ukraine war, the rivalry between US and China, the environmental problem we're all facing. This reduces my confidence that the government is able to provide us the same level of retirement pension, medical support, safety that we can enjoy now. And because this is a global phenomenon, it's going to be harder for those wanting to do a geographical arbitrage, which means to make money from a wealthy country but retire in a relatively low-cost, poorer nation. If your end goal is financial independence, like me, I think our response to all these changes is to live a more frugal life and put more assets into the basket that generates passive income for us. We should also buy high-quality assets that can withstand a high level of market risk. Also, we need to learn more from each other, getting our heads together and come up with a new plan to reflect those changes we're facing. This is why I made this video, to exchange ideas with like-minded people so that we can learn from each other. Please leave a comment below and let me know if I'm making sense. Before talking about the long term, we have to deal with the double-digit inflation that's happening now and bulletproof our finances in a defense posture. I spent some time to prepare 40 actionable items that's going to help me go through the high inflation environment in 2023, and I'm sharing all of them with you in my next video. Before you go, please click like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.